Excelsior! Hello everyone, how are you doing today? My name is Jacob and this is my YouTube channel. Today is a very special video. Today is a tribute. You will not see many videos like this on my channel, but it is honoring a legend we lost a few days ago, Stan, or his friends called him the Man, Lee. So please enjoy this video about the inspirational and amazing superhero, Stan Lee. Stan Lee was born on December 28, 1992 in New York City to Jewish Hungarian immigrants Jack and Celia Leiber. He graduated from a high school in the Bronx and worked as a writer of obituaries and a news writer. Stan was extremely smart, graduating from high school at 16. He pursued his writing career and landed a job in Timely Comics, where he met Martin Goodman, Jack Kirby, and Joe Simon. Jack Kirby and Joe Simon were the creators of the extremely famous superhero and Avenger, Captain America. From this point, he changed his writer name to Stan Lee, which is obviously the name we know him as today, and went on to write many more intriguing comics and stories. But then, the United States declares war on Japan, and the young Stan Lee is drafted into the Army Signal Corps to fight alongside other Americans in one of the most deadly wars of all times, World War II. After he had served his term in the Corps, he returned home and returned to Timely Comics. Meanwhile, he also fell deeply in love with his soon-to-be wife, Joan Bucock. The couple were married in 1947, and they began their 70-year marriage. After their marriage, Stan Lee's life blossomed. Stan and Joan bought a house on Long Island, where they started a family. He still worked for Timely Comics, but he no longer had the passion to work for them like he did before. However, Timely Comics' rivals, DC Comics, created the superhero Flash, and it was planned to create a group of heroes known as the Justice League. Lee's boss assigned Stan with the task of creating his own group of supers. After much thought, Stan Lee created the Fantastic Four, and the company was renamed to Marvel. But the difference between Marvel and DC's characters have been present throughout the years. Marvel's characters just seem to be more relatable. Even some of the strongest Marvel characters like Hulk, Thor, or Captain America were vulnerable. They were believable. They weren't like Superman, the hero who always seemed as if nothing standing in his way. The Spider-Man was a teenager, and he faced real-life problems as all normal teenagers do. Stan Lee has even said that he based the famous web-slinger's reaction to seeing Mary Jane for the first time as the first time he saw his wife. Peter Parker was the stunning replica of the average teenager at the time, and for some people, he still is today. Stan reinvented the way comic books were made. He designed a new flow of work that developed a stronger friendship between his co-workers. He added an area in every single comic Marvel produced to display fan art made by readers of Marvel's comics. He made a column in the comics where he could communicate with the fans. Stan had made the thrilling comic book feeling even more spectacular. And after Martin Goodman, his boss, left Marvel, Stan became publisher, which is not different to how Kevin Feige has become the president of Marvel. Stan created even more characters, from Miss Marvel to Squirrel Girl and Carnage to Ghost Rider. Marvel was making big money. Soon, television became the primary source of entertainment, and Marvel moved with the times. The TV shows The Incredible Hulk and Spider-Man were made.
Spider-Man, does whatever a spider can. Spins a web any size, catches thieves just like flies. Look out, here comes the Spider-Man. Is he strong? Listen, bud, he's got radioactive blood. Can he swing from a thread? Take a look overhead.
After the huge hit with the TV shows, Stan knew it was time to go big or go home. The Spider-Man series was formed with Tobey Maguire as Peter Parker and Spider-Man. It was the dream of Spider-Man on the big screen. With iconic characters such as Green Goblin, Venom, Sandman, Otto Octavius, MJ, Harry Osborn, and even Stan Lee. Yes, you heard me correctly. It has become a tradition that Stan Lee had made a cameo in every Marvel movie, and some other non-Marvel movies too. He was called the King of Cameos, and for good reason. Every fan in the theater smiled when they saw Stan himself on the screen, playing a small role. Himself. Whether he was a security guard in the museum, or cutting Thor's hair, or even driving a bus and wondering why these kids have never seen a spaceship before, Stan's role as himself was iconic. Everything changed in 2008. On May 2nd, 2008, Tony Stark changed from the selfish billionaire to the iron superhero, Iron Man. The Marvel Cinematic Universe, or MCU, was created, and Robert Downey Jr. played Iron Man. And not only in this movie, In fact, every MCU movie to date with Iron Man in it has had Robert as the genius billionaire playboy philanthropist. In fact, all of the Marvel heroes in the MCU have been played by the same actors. They have not changed actors, well, besides War Machine and Hulk. Once again, Marvel had made a move DC never did. They maintained the same actors. By doing this, these celebrities have become identified as their superheroes, unlike DC, who has changed actors for almost every character. Chris Evans will always be the Captain America, Robert Downey Jr. will always be the Iron Man, and so on. Fans weren't the only ones interested in the film series. Walt Disney Studios was too, and they were determined to get their hands on it. Well, Disney got their way, and Marvel Studios became property to Walt Disney Studios, just like Pixar and Lucasfilm. The purchase was made in 2009. It has been almost 10 years since Marvel was purchased by Disney, and Marvel has only grown. The most recent film, Ant-Man and the Wasp, was the MCU's 20th film, and the next one, Captain Marvel, will be the 21st. The MCU has no signs of slowing down. Their biggest movie was released earlier this year, Avengers: Infinity War. This film was an absolute blockbuster, killing it in the box office and dominating the theaters. It was the epic combination of Iron Man, Hulk, Black Widow, Steve Rogers, Bucky Barnes, Falcon, War Machine, Loki, Thor, Star-Lord, Gamora, Groot, Rocket Raccoon, Drax, Scarlet Witch, Vision, Black Panther, Wong, Doctor Strange, Maria Hill, Nick Fury, Nebula, Mantis, the Collector, Spider-Man, Shuri, Okoye, M'Baku, and everyone's favorite hero, Stan Lee. On July 6th, 2017, Stan's wife, Joan, passed away. People prayed for Stan, but they knew he could power through it. He was a superhero. The passing of his wife did not stop Stan. He kept his happy attitude and kept living the dream. Stan Lee is an inspiration, a legend, a hero. He inspired me to be greater. He inspired the world to be greater. And he left his mark on the world. Almost every celebrity gave a tribute to Stan Lee. Social media was covered with tributes. The internet was insane. Students, teachers, schools filled with the sad news. The world was in grief on November 12th, 2018, when Stan Lee passed away. Living 95 years old, Stan was an amazing man. He will never be forgotten by anyone. And as time goes on, as generation passes, humans will always remember December 28th, 1922. The day the world's first superhero was born. The day Stan Lee was born. Art has been made showing the Avengers standing by Stan Lee's grave, heartwarming images of Peter Parker saying goodbye to Stan, tears from Parker's eyes. We looked up to superheroes. We looked up to Stan. And it's only appropriate to end with words from the man himself in Spider-Man 3. You know, I guess one man can make a difference. Enough said. We love you, man. Rest in peace, and may you be remembered forevermore.